What's the best ground vehicle in Star Citizen? Well, that really depends on your taste and what ship you're using. You're not going to slap a Nova tank on most ships, and it probably wouldn't make much sense to carry only a hoverbike on a ship like Hercules M2. That said, larger ships with huge cargo decks like the Hercules series or the new Anvil Asgard can fit any ground vehicle. I have picked out a few of my top ground vehicles and why they're worth having, but I'll skip the mech suits, since those are more utility tools than real transports. Focusing on hoverbikes, trucks and tanks, let us start with the Ursa Medivac. This ground medical vehicle with a support weapon is basically perfect, whether you're taking it into combat, using it for medical rescue, or keeping it as a backup in your ship without a medbed. It's incredibly flexible. The driver can control weapons from the inside. The vehicle offers decent protection, and it has a solid health pool for something its size. The downside? It won't fit on many medium-sized ships. The ideal for this is the Constellation series, or the Hercules. I think Mercury Star Runner or Freelancer Max can even hold one too. It's a fantastic vehicle, but limited by its size when it comes to transport options. Perhaps the real worth lies in this vehicle being the better variant in its series. Sure, you can argue that the troop transport is important, like let's say you have 6 players need to get to a place. But in most cases, you probably don't. You will have 2-3 players max, and so you just pop them in this vehicle. There's a seat for 3 players, a 4th one can even lie on the medbed, and just go where you need to go while having fire support and medical options. And truly the best part, it doesn't lose out on anything that the Ursa rover really has. All the stats are still there. So this medical variant of a ground vehicle, which is also unique, seems to be one of the best options. Next up is the Greycat BTV. Nah, just kidding. Next up is the Greycat STV. This is a compact, fast 2-seater. It doesn't have a ton of utility beyond transport. You get a gun rack, you get a couple of storage boxes in the trunk, but it's one of the smaller vehicles that fits easily on many medium-sized ships, like the Drake Cutlass Blue, Freelancer, even Nomad if you place it right, Cutlass Red, or even a Cutter if you truly wanna force it in there. The driver and passenger do get some protection from the glass, I guess. From the rear there is also glass, but there's also a spare tire, so that blocks off a little bit. Sadly, the sides are wide open. Some prefer the Cyclone series because of the better weapons and still decent fit, but it's bigger than STV. If you have the space, the Cyclone is a solid choice. It's taller, I think it's also a bit wider, and most of its variants come with some sort of weapons. But it also might not fit everywhere, and that's why I like the STV. You might have your specialized role ship that has less space than the transport variants, and you can actually pop it in the rear. And I don't see it as a downside that this vehicle isn't meant for direct combat, and instead transport. Next up, the Hoverbike, and I'm guessing you all pretty much know what it's going to be. The Mirai Pulse, and it stands out. The smallest, shortest bike in the game, and it comes with a single size 2 fixed weapon in the front. The real advantage here is in its tiny size, letting it fit almost anywhere. Even ships with limited interior space or just a couple of cargo container units. It's perfect if you want to transport without sacrificing any space. Plus the weapon adds a bit of firepower. Most of these hoverbikes, they have size 1 weapons. Although those are dual, this is size 2 and single. So it's not that much powerful, because 2 size 1s usually overpower a size 2. But it is significant and plays quite well at the front. There is a significant trade-off. The rider is completely exposed. Because it is so tiny, it is maybe 3 times as big as the player. Your limbs are basically covering parts of the body of the bike, and your torso is just on top of it. It might actually be very easy to hit. Because it's so tiny, it also has one of the lowest health pools of any vehicles, with no shields to speak of. It's fragile, but are great for a ship like Cutter or any kind of starter. There are plenty of other great vehicles too, like the Greycat MTC, which is the newest, best looking 4-wheeled vehicle right now. With the 2 size 2 guns that pack a punch, it's tall, so mostly fits on large ships, but fills a gap that was missing. Or the Tumbrel Storm AA, which is extra wide, and that makes it tough to fit on most ships, but it carries some serious powerful anti-air missiles that make it deadly against most fighters, although it's rather useless against other ground targets. Or even the Origin X1 Force, a hoverbike that offers good protection for the rider. Has a shield and a size 1 weapon. It's about 3 times tougher than Mirai Pulse, but also bigger, taller, and so it needs more space. These and most other vehicles have their place depending on what you need and what ship you're using. At the end of the day, you can't go wrong with a hoverbike on a smaller ship. And if you got the room, why not bring along something fun and practical? But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.